So after our first couple hours of dredging, we got a sample hole done, and we encountered some huge boulders. As you can see, they're pretty big. We probably can't get them out with the equipment we have. If we would maybe go to a cable winch system like Whitewater Gold, sure, but we don't have that. Yeah, we got the canyon walls, but we just don't have that rigged up. We did get quite a few big boulders out. You can see how big these are. They're big. They were heavy. So we had a challenge just getting those rolled out of the hole. So we're gonna stop in this sample hole after a little over 3 hours of dredging. We got liquid mercury. It apparently up in Silver City back in the 1800s, they either intentionally or accidentally released 10,000 pounds of mercury. So being a few miles downstream from Silver City up in the mountains, we got the mercury in our dredge hole. The dredge hole you can see is maybe 12 feet long, 6 feet wide, and about 5 or 6 feet deep at the deepest. So we're gonna have to stop here. We're gonna move upstream to the top of that inside bend, and I'll walk up there next and kind of give you an overview of what we plan to do today when we haul the dredge up there. As I walk up to the next spot we're going to dredge, I'll kind of give you a little overview of how we got these claims and where we are. We're in southwest Idaho. We're in some really cool canyons. Some of these cliffs are pretty deep, pretty high up there. Beautiful area, but the work to get in here is crazy. We have a draw around this corner over here. We come down, it's about 300 feet high, a 30-degree angle, and to walk down there and up there every morning and every afternoon, it's a lot of work. And there's great gold here, but it was just too much work for people to get into. It's a 4-mile drive in from the main dirt road, and it takes about 50 minutes to go that 4 miles. It's so rough and rocky, and it's just a really tough drive. And then it's a little over half-mile ATV ride down to the top of the draw, and then I counted once 330 steps to come up the draw. It's really steep. It's a good workout though. So it's a lot of work for anybody to get equipment down here. Even if you hand carried a sluice and a shovel, it would probably put a lot of people off. It's just too much work. But that's what we like. We like work, and that's why we're here on the good gold. And nobody wanted these claims, so Corey and I, my son, we got these 5 claims. Total about a mile length in the creek here. So we'll never dredge or even come close to sampling all this in our lifetimes. But this is gonna be our next spot. We're gonna bring the dredge up here and do a sample hole here. You can see it's a slight curve all the way up here. It's pretty much straight here. Lots of boulders that must have came off the high cliffs. You can see the boulders along that side. And this is where the inside bend starts, right up here, and then you can see it curves to the left. So we've got this point here. The currents made this point with this big cobble. You can see this point. So we're going to sample. We'll start dredging, I think, right about here, maybe about 15, 20 feet down from that point. We'll start a sample hole right out there, and we'll come in and we'll watch what we get, and we'll go from there. So that's it for now. Okay, we're up at our second sample hole from when we came down there from this morning. We got the dredge up here, set up, ready to go. We're going to sample up in the edge of that rock bar there, the inside bend. See, the inside bend starts here. So we're going to sample there. We'll go down 3, 4, 5 feet, depending on the size of the boulders. And here, we got huge boulders out here. Some really big ones. That's the outside bend, so typically that's not the path of travel for gold. So that's where we're going to sample. But I'm going to talk through our mat configuration, our dream mat. So I'll start at the top. We got the Jarvisian riffles. I know some guys have called him Jarvonian, but his name isn't Jarvone, it's Jarvis. So we're going Jarvisian riffles. Here we got the Jarvisian riffles with moss underneath, miner's moss underneath. And we've got just a rubber carpet, rubber mat underneath for anything that soaks through, seeps through the moss. It gets on top of the rubber carpet, and the dream mat, this dream mat here actually starts about here. So anything that hits the rubber carpet, which goes to about here, will then allow it to sift through the miner's moss onto the top of the dream mat up here. There is a flow that comes out from under here, just from all the water that comes through the riffles and the miner's moss. So there's a flow here, but it's only really fine stuff, which could include gold, because as you can see, the miner's moss, only gold and fine material get through that. But then the most will go over the top. But the purpose of the Jarvisian riffles is to slow the flow coming out of the power jet, out of the jet flare there. Because when it comes out of there under the horsepower from the pump, it comes out too fast. So the purpose of the riffles is to slow the flow to allow the dream mat to work even better. The dream mat is so forgiving. You can overflow it, it's not going to really matter. So we've got the riffles up top, then we've got one 20-inch wide by 4-foot long dredge dream mat. And we got another 4-foot section of 20-inch wide dredge dream mat. Then on the bottom here, what we did, Paul Jarvis, Adventures in Gold Prospecting, he made me an extension, a sluice extension. So what we did, we went from 20-inch wide out to 23.5, almost 24 inches. Because these mats aren't quite 12 inches, but he custom made the sluice box for me to accept 2 wide of this style of dream mat. And they seem to be working really good. Any fines that might get missed, that's what we'll catch in that final one. So that's a sluice box configuration. We're gonna throw some rocks to get a hole started for the nozzle, and I'll be back. Here's the flow. After we clean out the dredge mats, the green mats on the dredge, and the Jarvisian riffles, we have ponds that we bring over to here in the creek on the gold cube, outfitted with 4 green mats, 3 micro mats at the top. And the green one, I don't remember the name of it. I just don't recall. So we run our ponds through this. And on the top one, with the original gold tube configuration, you've got a slick plate, and then you go into the horrible conveyor belt to take forever to clean. So why not have a mat on the top? There's a decent sized piece of gold here somewhere. Somewhere in there. Hard to see through the camera, but yeah, there's gold in there. So instead of having a slick plate and not having a layer or a level to use, why not throw a micromat on top? And we're getting probably 80–90% of our gold in the top mat. So that way you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers instead of, even with a 4 plastic tray configuration, you get from gold tube, it only has 3 conveyor belts. And this way we have 4 green mats, micromat, plus the bottom green one. So then next we'll show you how easy it is to clean out. Be right back. Okay, for the clean out on these, it's so simple. I've got the top one set up where I just turn it about half a turn in each of the 3 screws, and then pull that mat out and watch how quick it is compared to the conveyor belts that these things come with. That's it. That's how fast it is versus 5 minutes of scrubbing on the conveyor belts. The gold in here. Yeah, you can see all the gold. That's a lot of gold.
The water wasn't
2-hour run today in the hole there right above the dredge. Just getting down to hard pack, just starting to chew into hard pack with the blaster. Yeah, some decent gold in there, a lot of flakes. Like I said, most of your gold comes out of that top mat. And get the little bubbles to disappear. Yeah, there's some good gold in there. Flat lead. Wouldn't believe how the dream mats pick up that flat lead. And we'll show you a tray here, how that cleans out with the mat still attached. Just on the top one is the one that we have configured, so you can just take the mat off the top one. These with the different bars, just for clamping, you could take those out, but it's just a matter of splashing the tray off. And that's it.
Silicone.
Now we'll show you how to do a mat here with the mat attached to the box, how quick it is. See some lead down in there.
There's some gold down in there.
Gold too. Just a matter of tipping it upside down, dunking it, grabbing the mat from underneath, dunking it like that, and the mat's cleaned out. Then what we do is we tip it on the side, we lift the mat up away from the box so we can splash underneath just in case there's something.
Top part cooler, come on.
And that's really it. That's how easy it is to clean the trays. And we'll come back later once we do we'll take the gold in one side of the pan, at least give you an idea how much gold we got today with the 2-hour run. So here's part of the cleanup from today, what we did with the dredge. A 2-hour run, and then on the gold cube, and then pan down some of the gold, separated some of the gold. But there's a bunch more under this black sand, so that's probably about half, Corey believes. So not bad for one day, 2-hour run. Now as Corey's just snuffer bottled that one group out, now he's bringing more out. You can see some more gold there. So I think you're on the other side, better light. Yeah, there's quite a bit more in there. It's just the black sand is so small. Trying to get that out. The gold separated from the black sand. Yeah, there's another good group of gold coming out of the black sand. I know there's some down there. There's some already fell. I saw. But that's a pretty good another group. we got some cleanup with different days. You can see the one in the middle up here. That's from the overburden where we got the mercury and the lead, and there's some mercury colored gold up there, covered gold. Over here we've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 hours of hard pack, chewing up hard pack, and that's overburden with the mercury and lead. Here's a 3-hour run with hard pack, and then there's some bigger pieces of gold that was down in the hard pack too, but some of it's covered with the rust colored stain that the hard pack consists of. But that's a few days of cleanup, and we'll show you more later.